Hi everyone, my name is Joanna Joseph and I'm currently studying for my diploma in TESOL and I'm also a freelance model. So the topic that I would like to touch on today, which is something that is very personal to me, would be bullying. Growing up as the only kid was really tough for me and I had nobody to lean on to. As I was walking into my primary school, I was constantly bullied because of my weight. I was about 60 kgs in my primary school and I was the fattest kid in school. And I used to get bullied by my own friends and also teachers, where they would mock me and call me names such as fatty and Tamil names such as tombu and whatnot. But that didn't really bother me so much because I was just a growing child and I didn't realize that I was actually being bullied. But as soon as I stepped into my secondary school, that was when all the insecurities in the world hit me, because I was starting to become a teenager, and a lot of teenage girls out there wore fancy dresses and they got into relationships, and it was really tough for me to be a part of that, as I didn't really have much people to talk to and I never really had much friends as well in my secondary school. When I was at the age of 15, I realized that being 104 kgs in my secondary life was something that I didn't want, and I wanted to make a change. So I decided to diet and exercise all by myself. Google was my best friend. I had no gym at that time, and my dad was the most supportive person in my entire family. He got me a gym mat, he got me dumbbells, I had YouTube to lean on, and music was my best friend. Within the next 6 months, I lost about 50 kgs, which was half my weight, and I went from 104 kilos to 53 kgs, and that surprised everyone, including myself, because I thought I was not capable of doing it. And when I reached the age of 18, that was when a lot of people surrounding me told me I should enter the modeling industry and give it a shot, as I had great height and I looked way better than I did before now. And modeling was something which was not something that clicked with me earlier in the age. As growing up as the only child, I always wanted to be a veterinarian, but then I thought, why not give it a shot and see how far this would take me. So I gave it a shot and I joined pageants such as Miss Langor Earth and so much more, and I managed to win many crown titles, and I'm also currently an activist when it comes to bullying, when it comes to body shaming, and when it comes to women empowerment. So how did I actually deal with my bullying? So as a kid, like in primary school, I used to just absorb whatever people tell me, and I just used to, I used to be sad, of course, but then as a kid, it didn't really affect me so much. But I would say that as I grew up, as I walked into my secondary life, dealing with it became much worse. Even my own friends always used to tell me that, you would never find proper friends, you would never be able to look beautiful, or you would never be able to wear good dresses or get a boyfriend for the fact, and stuff like that. And all of these put a lot of negative thoughts in myself, where I thought that, I'm never gonna be able to achieve in life. This is me. This is how I am gonna be in the future. Like, I'm never gonna be happy. And there were basically a lot of negative thoughts. It brought me into depression. This was the start of my actual depression, and leaning on the wrong company, I believe, got me into a huge mess, where I started self-harming myself, and there were times where I couldn't stop. I had a lot of suicidal thoughts, thinking, my life is not going to get better, and dealing with it was really, really difficult. So the only way I actually dealt with it in high school, where I had no friends with me, was through journaling. I used to journal a lot. I used to write all my feelings on paper, and when I went back home, I used to read, a lot of storybooks and whatnot, just to get my mind off things. So basically, I just tried to divert my mind. That was how I was dealing with it, until the point where I felt like, enough was enough and I had to do something about it. So that was when I stopped dealing with my depression, and I tried changing all the negative thoughts to something positive. Like, whatever people told me, like, you can't do this, you're not being able to do this and that, and you will never find happiness. I took all of it, and I got this sort of fire in me, where I told myself that, what, maybe I should prove all of these people wrong. So at the age of 15 was the age where I finally decided, like, time to change. And me changing, into becoming a new person, a better person, is definitely going to inspire a lot of other women out there who are probably facing the same thing. And I had the rage within me, and I never gave up. I continuously went through all of the hard work, the hard process of dieting and exercising. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, and there were moments where I felt like, I was going to give up because I couldn't take it anymore. But then something in me told me that, don't give up, because if you succeed in doing this, it's a huge milestone, and you know for a fact that you are capable of doing anything at all. And that was what motivated me so much to keep pushing forward, and somehow I managed, and here I am today. So a message to my bullies would definitely be thank you, because you made me into a very strong person today. But I'm also glad that it happened to me, because I managed to take all of the negativity and change it into positivity somehow. But please remember that there are people out there who wouldn't be able to channel all of the negativity to positivity as well, as not many people have the trust to talk to people, and not many people are there for themselves. A lot of people out there tend to take things into their own hands, and when someone does that, it somehow ends into something worse like suicide. So before you bully someone or before you say something nasty to someone, please think twice. Think in their shoes on what they would feel and what they would go through. And the only way that a change can happen is if you stop, you take a step back, and you think for yourself and also for them. Who am I today? I am still the same old Joanna, but a much more stronger person, and in fact a fighter. I realized that life is a long journey, and there are lots of ups and downs throughout your journey, but that doesn't mean you stop there, and there can be a couple of nasty people along the way. But I always believe that people who come into your life are either blessings or they teach you lessons. So just accept the blessings and move on, and take note of the lessons and not repeat them in the future. Today I aim to inspire many women out there, and also men who are going through the same thing, and I want to be there for them, and I want to help them to get out of it. One thing I've learned is to just, move on with life, and to not give an opinion about what others think about you, because at the end of the day, what people think about you don't matter. What matters the most is what you think of yourself. And also remember to practice lots of self-love, because self-love is the only thing that is going to help you combat a lot of things in the future. It's not easy to practice self-love, but trust me, once you have mastered it, you're good to go.
Poraadu. துணிவோடு போராடு, இறுதி வரை போராடு, போராடு.
Be strong and take courage. Do not fear about the future, because what is meant to be will be.
Poraadu.